what kind of concept is that, right? What kind of concept? Well, living from the kingdom. Okay, Jesus Christ said the kingdom is within. Now, this is not a religious show or a religious live or a religious religion-based thing. This is spirituality. Okay, because you're not your body, you're not your name, you're that spirit that lives in here. Okay, I'm just making references to this. It's all in the Holy Bible. Okay, some of it is in the Quran, some of it is in the Bhagavad Gita. In fact, most of it is in the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, this is nothing new. Jesus wasn't the first person to say this. Okay, but he was the last person to say this 2,000 years ago. Okay, and Gautama Buddha said this as well. Krishna said it as well. All of these people said this. Okay, because the kingdom is within. It's not out there. There's nothing out there. Okay, nobody is coming to save you from out there. Okay, but you have the ability to save yourself from in here. And that's why we talk about manifestation, because you have the power to bring anything to you. Okay, I've been doing this since 2007 deliberately. And before that, I did some things that I wasn't aware of that I was doing. Okay, so a belief is a thought you keep thinking. When you keep thinking your thoughts, okay, or when you focus on a thought and keep thinking it, you start to believe in the thought that you're thinking. Okay, for you Christians, it's in your Bibles. Okay, Mark 11:24. All right. Now we notice more and more evil in the world, and what's unfolding in front of us on the news every day is alarming. It is alarming, but these things were hidden. Okay, because we were in a different age. Okay, and now we are in the age of Aquarius. What does that mean? Well, that means we are in the age of truth, and the truth is coming to light. Okay, it takes 12 for the truth to come to light. So when you read in the scriptures that in my Father's house there are many mansions, that doesn't make sense. Nobody understands that. In my Father's house are many mansions. What is that? No, the correct translation of the Greek says, in my Father's abode there are many houses. There are 12 houses. Okay, and we are moving into the age of Aquarius. It just started. Okay, nobody's sure exactly when it is. Okay, but we kind of think we know. We kind of think we know it somewhere around 2020. Okay, but certain things have to happen for the truth to come to light. Okay, and these things are all beginning to unravel now. Okay, so let's talk about the kingdom within. Because you can be in the world and not of the world. You can be in the system and not of the system. What am I talking about? In the Holy Bible, Jesus Christ says, I will be with you until the end of the world. Okay, the world's not going anywhere. You need to understand the esoteric knowledge. In the esoteric knowledge, or the hidden knowledge, okay, because it's different from the exoteric knowledge that they feed the masses, okay, the stories. If you're romanticizing on the stories of the Bible, then yeah, you're in for a huge surprise. Okay? But what it says in the original translation is, I will be with you until the end of these systems of things. And we're going to see the systems of things. There's many systems at play in the physical world. Okay, but we are going to see a lot of them come to an end as we know them. Okay, and it's already starting to happen. It's already starting to unravel. And these things will continue to unravel until they form or move or morph into the new systems of things. Okay, now this happened in the industrial age. Okay, in every age. Okay, so you have the Iron Age. You have, it just goes back and back. There's no sense on giving references to those things, but in every age, right? So the industrial age was all about factories. It was all about building railroads. It was all about industry, building industry, and those titans of industry have moved on. They're gone. Okay, so if you read Wallace D. Wattles' book, The Science of Getting Rich, what you're going to find is These systems serve their purpose, and then they move on, or they collapse, or they morph into something else. Okay, foundations, other things, trusts, those kinds of things. Okay, but that's good news for you. Why is this good news? Because when you learn to live from the kingdom instead of the physical world, and what I mean is, in the Holy Bible, it says you cannot serve God and mammon. Okay? Anytime you put your faith in something in the physical world, okay, that's mammon. Okay? So when you put faith in here, okay, God is in here. Jesus Christ told us, Krishna told us, Gautama Buddha told us. Okay? So God lives in here. The kingdom is in here. You're not your body. You're not your name. You're that energy, that spirit that lives in here. Okay? You're a spirit. You're not this, thing with this just meat suit walking around on the planet. Okay? I don't know how to put it any more plainly than that. Okay? You're not insignificant. This energy here is eternal. Your spirit is eternal. You're just here for a while. Then you'll drop this body. These things will get old, right? I won't be able to hold my pen anymore at some point, okay? I won't be able to continue this physical existence, and then my body will expire. But my energy will go, okay? So there are machines that measure the spirit leaving the body. So science knows a lot about what we are. Okay, they don't always agree with the metaphysical aspect of what we are, or the metaphysical assumptions of what we are. Okay, but the kingdom within is a direct line to consciousness. Whether you want to call the superconscious, so there's the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious, the three states of awareness in here. And whether you want to call the superconscious God, or consciousness, or source, or Jesus Christ, or Allah, whatever you want to call that, that recognizes the kingdom within. This has nothing to do with religious dogma, although it is in the Holy Bible. Okay? These things are all in the Bible. In the Gospel of Luke 17:20, okay, I'll read the quote, because I'm not one of those people that memorize Bible quotes. Okay, I know those guys, right? They're just, they're overthinking. The kingdom of God does not come with observation, nor will they say, here or see there, or see here or see there, for indeed the kingdom of God is within you. Okay. These are, what is this? L-O-K-E, I don't know what you mean. Peaceful way or violence way, which we will all experience at some point. Okay, I don't understand, Mugali. Write it out again for me. So we have a chat over here. We interact with our chat in real time. So anyway, so that's the quote, okay? But what it really is telling you to do is look in here, okay? So close your distractors like this, okay? And sit still for at least 10 to 15 minutes a day. Okay, I meditate for a half hour at a time, sometimes 45 minutes, sometimes an hour. It depends. Okay, but I don't care how religious you are. I don't care if you go to temple every day, you go to synagogue every day, whatever you do every day. Okay, in those ritual type activities, because they're rituals. Okay, they're man-made rituals. But if you're doing those things and you're not sitting still in the kingdom, then you're just speaking to God. You're not listening to God. Because when you go in the kingdom and you sit still in the kingdom, there's an old expression that says, be still and know. Okay? Because if you're reading scripture, okay, you're a believer. Okay? Believing and knowing are two separate things. Okay? But when you go into the kingdom and close your distractors and sit in silence, or in a guided meditation, you will start to experience the all that is. Okay, and this is not space talk. This is not bong talk. This is not that. Okay, this is real stuff. Let me see. Like when our bodies expire, how we leave this realm. Yeah, exactly. It's energy. You're energy. You're a spirit in here. So you leave your body behind, but your energy or your spirit continues. Okay, so you can attract everything in here. Okay, I've lived this way since 2007. Before that, I had experiences that I thought I got lucky. And then when I look back and I examined what exactly I did, to get there, right? And then I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this makes sense. But when you first come across this information, you go like, wow, this is crazy stuff. Yeah, it's crazy because you've been conditioned into the physical man-made world. And there are man-made rules to abide by in the man-made world. There are rules in the spiritual world as well. But when you trust in here, when you go in here, okay, when you go within, the kingdom is within. When you go in the kingdom, sit in the kingdom, what happens? Well, your intuition gets stronger. What is your intuition? It's your divine guidance. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. But the truth is in here. The truth is not out here. Directions to the truth are out here. But the truth does not exist out here in the physical world. This, according to Gautama Buddha, is an illusion. Why is it an illusion? Because it's man-made, not God-made. You are God-made. I'm God-made. You are God-made. Your dog is God-made. For 11 years, I had a horse that was my pet. My horse is God-made. It's the man-made things that you put your faith in, that you put your trust in. Like, oh, the financial system. Oh, the stock market. Oh, the corporation. Oh, my degree. Oh, the education. No. You can receive the education. You can participate in the education. You can obtain the degree. Okay? But some people hold those things in reverence higher and are not in touch with what's in here. And this is what Jesus was telling people. Gautama Buddha said the same thing. The man who sees life as an illusion escapes suffering. What kind of suffering? Mental suffering, anxiety, overthinking, all of that. Why is that? Because everything out here is nature, and things from someone else is in here. That's all that exists out here. But God exists in here. Okay? So when Jesus Christ spoke of the kingdom, he wasn't talking about a physical place. He wasn't talking about a government or future event. He wasn't talking about any of that. He was describing a state of being. A state of being. Okay, so the law of attraction, right? We talk about that all the time. It's subconscious. God can only work off of what's in your subconscious. Why is that? Well, because if you believe something in your subconscious, and let's say you're praying for something that's not in your subconscious, or that you have negative beliefs against in your subconscious, you're not going to get it. And people wonder why. Why was my prayer not answered? Oh, well, it's because of your beliefs. So how do you fix that? Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. If you direct these 4 pillars on any one thing, it has to happen. You have a reticular activating system in your brainstem. That filters out what you're not focused on. So what are you focused on? Focused on anxiety? Focused on problems? They keep coming, right? Why? Because your reticular activating system goes, oh, okay, problems, I'll find problems. And it sifts through the data, okay? You're the highest form of intelligence on the planet. So when you walk down the street, you're absorbing tons of data. Your subconscious is taking notes of all the sounds around you. Okay? So your subconscious is the culmination of all of your senses. What you see, what you taste, what you smell, what you hear, what you say. Okay? It's your book of life. So you become conditioned to your environment. This is why they say humans are subject to their environment. You are subject to the conditions in your environment. So this is why when you move to a new place, right, and you meet new people, and you make new friends, and you have a new friend group, pretty soon you're using their expressions, pretty soon you're acting like them, pretty soon you're enjoying the same things, right? Because like attracts like. This is not some kind of magic or witchcraft or anything like that. Like attracts like. Commonalities, like-minded thinking. Okay, people group like that on social media, right? Like-mindedness. Opposites don't attract. That's a myth. Okay, those are some of the things that you've been taught, and we've been taught a lot of opposites for a lot of things. Okay. The kingdom within is the awareness of your divine origin. So you adapt to your environment, sorta. No, you adapt to your environment totally, not sorta. Yeah. Yeah, my horse's name was Duchess. There you go. Yeah, I miss Duchess. She was a great horse. She was a multi-champion. So inner peace, okay, not controlled by circumstance, okay? Because out here, okay, you cannot control in here from out here. In other words, the circumstances that you see out here are dictated by your life path unfolding from in here. Yesterday we were talking about life paths, okay? So when you become more aware of your divine nature, when you become more aware of the kingdom within, you start to see the synchronicities when you wake up, because everybody's in a trance-like state. Why is this? Because you're being projected on all the time by news, by people telling you, oh, this is like this, oh, this is like that, oh, this is like this. And yes, you have discernment, and yes, you look at things and discern things, of course. But even in that discernment, you've been taught how to discern. Okay? You've been taught. And in society, we've been conditioned. So how much really changes in these systems of things? Well, right now, things are changing rapidly, which is even more confusing, right? Because pretty soon it's like, okay, look, here, it's like this now. Science discovered this new thing, so it's this way now. Oh, okay, shift our thinking. Why do they have expressions like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks? Okay, that's, first of all, it's not true. Second of all, it's just an excuse to accept the circumstances that you've accumulated through sociological conditioning, societal hypnosis, that trance that you're in. My mom started painting when she was, I think, 83 or 84. She's 90 years old now. She doesn't seem any older than 60 or 70. She moves around again, like just as much as she always did. A lot of energy, a lot of vitality. And she learned to paint at 83 and 84. And when she did that, we was like, what? And it was nice. I mean, good paintings. And I was like, Ma, I never saw you do anything like that. I never saw her sketch. I never saw her do anything. She goes, I didn't know I could either. I just took a class. You see how intelligent you are? But my mom believes in herself. So she went out and took a class. And, you know, now she's painting. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. She's 90 years old and she's still painting. She sent me a text of her latest painting. It's pretty good. I couldn't do it. Of course, I'm not interested in it, but yeah. Another expression, nothing new under the sun. Okay, and this is because in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth 5,000 years ago, creation was pronounced complete. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm grateful I have my mom here too. Thank you. Sorry, we have a chat over here, so I go back and forth. Okay. So love is your natural state. Okay? Love is your natural state. So how come some people don't love? How come some people don't know love? Okay, now I'm not talking about Valentine's Day love. I'm talking about the God energy you were born with. You ever see an angry baby? I always say that, right? No, no angry babies. Why? Because all they know is love. They were born with love energy. Then life happens. Okay? Then you develop complexes. Then you develop negative emotions. Because you experience things, good and bad. But in order to get back to your love energy, you need to get rid of these negative emotions. How do you do that? Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization. The vocalization exercise that I've been giving my clients, I stumbled upon the things that it does, okay, because I was doing this by accident. I've been teaching since 1989, and right around 2007, I go, what is going on? Like these, my students are like super, super confident. What's doing this? Because their body language was shifting everything. So here's something you should know. When you become confident, okay, and the vocal exercise does this, your body language auto-corrects. It automatically corrects. It responds to your confidence level. And this is why when we see people, we know who's confident and who's not, depending on the way they walk, the way they sit, the way they present themselves, the way they speak. Okay, all of these things. You can't hide these things. Or withholding love from past wounds, also not having parents. Trauma past. Okay, I don't know what you're commenting on, but okay. Our body autocorrect when we grow our confidence. Yes, that's amazing. Yes, it is amazing. The human being is much more sophisticated than people realize. So you're walking around with this equipment, guys. You're walking around with this equipment and you have no idea how it works, most of you, because you haven't read the owner's manual. And this is why we're talking about this today. Okay, because the owner's manual, one of the owner's manuals, the Holy Bible, tells you all about it. But if you're just reading the stories, then you miss the whole thing. Okay? But if you understand the esoteric knowledge, you go, oh, okay, now I get it. Because you're not born into the world to be on trial. Okay? This long trial. Okay? And everything you do is marked down by God, and then oh, you're gonna face God's wrath for all this stuff, and no, it doesn't work like that. No, you're not on trial, and Jesus Christ is not an attorney. Okay, he is the Messiah that came and saved you. He is not coming in physical form again, but he lives within you in spiritual form if you accept it, because God lives in here. So what counteracts all this stuff that you can't, that you can't just achieve stuff and just, do your affirmation or just wish, like, okay, I wish I had a brand new car. Boom. How come you can't do that? Because there's a process. What's the process? Ask, believe, receive. Ask, believe, receive. When you ask and you believe in what it is that you're asking, you will receive. But the belief part is key. A belief is a thought you keep thinking. This is why they say that you need to pray unceasingly. All that means is you have to keep asking. Okay? And of course, in manifestation, they say, well, you ask once and then you let it go. That works. It does work. Okay? But like I said, a belief is a thought you keep thinking. And if you just think it once, and there's something that counteracts, or let's say counter manifests your wishes or your desires or your dreams or your goals, whatever you want to call that, it's not going to happen. People wonder why they're stuck. Because some people hit the wall, they keep hitting the wall. Hit the wall, hit the wall, hit the wall, hit the wall. And they're convinced at that point, when they keep hitting the wall several times, they're convinced that they're losers. They're convinced that everybody else, life happens for that guy, life happens for that guy, not for me. They're convinced. I'm here to tell you, you just need to remove the blockage. Where's the blockage? In here. The prison is in here. I had to do that. My early 20s were terrible. I was angry. I was taking my anger out on the world, in all kinds of ways. And right around my late 20s, around 27, I started like, okay, maybe I should listen to my mentor. Maybe I should listen to him. Maybe I should try this. And all of a sudden, when I changed my mind, I changed my life. And everything went, whoa, glass half empty, glass half full. And I was like, wow, okay? Now, this is the paradox of life. Why? Because everything has a good and bad side to it. You just need to look at the good side. Some people wonder, why can't I see the good side? Well, first of all, humans have negativity bias. Okay, we are hardwired that way for survival. It's evolutionary. It's there for a reason, so that we survive. But if you're living in survival mode, okay, and most of you are, why? Well, there's the clock, there's the calendar, right? I gotta go to work, gotta punch in, right? Then I, whatever, work, break, and then work. Okay, punch out, go home, and repeat the cycle over and over and over and over. It's insanity. It's crazy. But it feeds you. Okay? It feeds your family. Are you supposed to believe in it? No. You're supposed to use it. You're supposed to do it. Because it works. Whatever works, right? Then you look for the next step. Okay, higher paying job, better benefits, better working conditions, whatever it is. Are you supposed to believe in that? No. You're supposed to believe in this one. You're supposed to put your faith in here, in the kingdom, in God. God exists in here. God is not in a church. Giving money to a church will not buy your way into heaven. Heaven is a state. Heaven is not a place. Heaven is a human construct. Hell is a human construct. Some people are living in hell right now. They created their hell and they're living in it and they're stuck in it and they don't see a way out. That's why I'm doing lives every morning. That's something I'm learning to forgive myself on to poor choices made in the past. Okay, but your life doesn't depend on the past. None of that is, nothing you can do is retroactive to fix the past. Belief said, that's my client right there, Janice. I'm going to see Janice at 8 o'clock. Belief sets the knowing, and knowing is within. Good in good comes to, yeah. And Janice is figuring this out, and Janice and I are working together, and she has been unlocked. She has been set free from the prison. And her voice did that. Okay, the vocal exercise that I give. And we've only done, I think, 3 sessions, something like that. Sarah's my client too. There's Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Good morning. And so Sarah's my client in the UK. I see people from all around the world. So your power is rooted in faith, not fear or doubt or belief. Okay? Because there's a difference between believing and knowing. Okay? I know that no matter what, God's got me. No matter what. And all I have to do is do what I love. All I have to do is keep teaching. All I have to do is keep helping people. Keep doing whatever it is I'm doing that's being productive and whatever. I'm living my life path. I'm living what I was born to do. Okay, I ran from teaching. I did a podcast on it. Check my podcast. I have tons of podcasts out there, but one of them is called I Ran from Teaching. It's on Apple Podcasts, it's on Spotify, it's on tons of podcast pages throughout the world. Check it out. Because I did run from my purpose. Why? Well, because I wanted to make people laugh. I can make people laugh. All you need to do to make people laugh is talk about something that we've, all been through. Talk about something and make fun of something that we've all experienced. That kind of stuff. Okay? I love doing that. Okay? And I played a dummy on the radio for years and years and years. The funny part was the people that I worked around started seeing me as a dummy. And that was really fun. That was so much fun. Okay? If you really want to gain the advantage, whatever, okay, any advantage around a group of people, okay, get people to believe that you're the underdog, okay? Get people to believe that you're less than, okay? Play the dummy, okay? Everybody gets behind the underdog, okay? And they lift you up, okay? But if you're in a group of people and you're Mr. Know-It-All or Mrs. Know-It-All, or you're projecting that you're better than them, they will shut you down, okay? If they perceive a threat, they will shut you down, which is why when my popularity went like this, there was haters that tried to pull me down, okay? And that's life. That's the way it is. But if you don't have those people trying to pull you down, then you're not successful. Okay? You have not succeeded. So thank God for your haters. Thank God for your haters. Repeat. Yep. Power is rooted in faith. Yes, power is rooted in faith. That's what I'm saying. You have to know. Okay, so you be still and know. You close your distractors and sit there for 10 to 15 minutes. It's hard. That's hard to do. Why? Because we live in a world, right, of stimulus all the time. This is why the children are so anxious. This is why they all have anxiety. I've cured so many kids of anxiety. I've pulled them out of it. It's not that you cure like you cure a disease. You pull them out of it. Then they're not anxious anymore. Then they're settled. Then they're calm. Then they're confident. That's what confidence is. It's a settled, inner, relaxed, centered feeling. And you can't be in that state if you're anxious, if you're worried. And the vocalization exercise does this. It's amazing. It got people off tons of medicines. Over the years, tons. Over 7,000 people in 37 years. None of them failed. Why? Because they're all human. This works in everyone. Okay? Now, I make no medical claims, okay? Because I'm going to get sued by the AMA if I start doing that. So I don't make medical claims. But you know what? I don't treat symptoms. I treat causes. And there's only one cause. The physical world. That's it. The spiritual always supersedes the physical. All day long, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You have control from in here. Okay? The universal law of correspondence says that When you change something in here, out here has to change. Why? Because everything out here reacts to everything in here. It's not the other way around. It's not the other way around. People think, well, I'm going to go change this over here. If I get a new car, people will respect me. If I give a girl candy on Valentine's Day, she will love me, right? Wrong. Okay? Stuff like that. But this is physical world thinking. It's not spiritual world thinking. The kingdom is within. Okay? The only thing that comes between you and what you're trying to manifest, whether it's a better life, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, whether it's material things, whatever it is. Okay, people think material things are wrong. There's a lot of spiritual people that say, well, spiritual, no. If you're spiritual, then material things don't, And they look at me and they go, well, you don't look spiritual. I'm like, yeah, I'm not wearing white gauze. That's stereotypical. Seek first the kingdom, and all else shall be added unto you. What does that mean? Everything you desire in your subconscious, everything you believe in your subconscious, believe to be true, will come to you once you start living from the kingdom. Once you start living from spirit instead of something man-made, something someone else made. If someone else designed it and someone else built it, and you end up believing in that, that's the illusion that Gautama Buddha was talking about. That's the illusion. Because you can do it too. If somebody else can do it, you can do it. You can manufacture something and put it out there. I've built tons of things. I've designed tons of things. I've designed products for buildings, for businesses. I've designed tons of stuff. Websites, tons of things. Okay? I'm not here to flex. I'm just telling you. But I'm telling you this so that you can start to believe in you. Okay? The God in you can create. You are a co-creator with the divine. You are an extension of that divine. The divine energy. Okay? Your energy in here is an extension of God. If you choose to see it that way. If you don't acknowledge it, then you're acknowledging the lack. Because love energy exists in here. If you don't acknowledge that energy, if you don't, come to the realization that that's your default energy, that's your energy of origin, then you're coming from lack. You're coming from the lack of. Hi, Margot. Good morning. Nobody really knows our spiritual aspect within as they think they do. Yeah, they don't until they start to put it in action. And I started to do that in 2007. So here, let me show you. So this is one that these are affirmations, okay? This is not journaling. Don't get it twisted. These are affirmations, okay? And I do these all the time. Sometimes I miss a few days, okay? But I do it. When I want something, I write it down. And guess what? It shows up. Jay knows this. Jay's seen me do this. When I write something down, it comes into being. How does that work? It works because my subconscious is conditioned, because I've been doing that since 2007. You can do it too, okay? But your subconscious is like a muscle. It gets soft if you don't use it, okay? But when you start using it and when you start getting it, revved up, okay? When you start exercising the power in here, it starts working better. It starts getting sharper, like anything else. Everything in life starts small and grows. And you can grow your subconscious power. It's a thing. It's a culmination of all of your senses. Let's say it another way. When you become confident in this one, in you, okay? Because I know a lot of religious people, they believe in God. They've been told that the kingdom is within, but they have no clue. They don't know how to use what's in here. They don't know how to acknowledge their spirit in here, but they go to church on Sunday. They enjoy the Mass. Oh, it's a beautiful Mass. Oh, they're singing. Oh, they're dancing. Oh, oh, it's a nice ritual. It's a ritual because you do it every Sunday. Oh, we give money to the church, so we're good people. Maybe. Depends, right? But if you're doing this for the sake of doing it without acknowledging what's in here or knowing what's in here or living from in here, you're still out here. Because the church is out here. The building is out here. The organization is out here. The tax exempt status is out here. The donation goes out here. The donation was made out here. Money is made out here. Money is not made in here. Now you're going through a formality. Then it becomes a subconscious pattern. And then what are you really doing? Most people have no idea. Oh, I'm doing it because that's the thing to do. Because we went since we were 5 years old, and this is a thing. Yeah, you were programmed to do it. Yeah, you were indoctrinated into the process. You were indoctrinated into the ritual. Nobody really knows us. Okay, yep, you're right, Mugali. Absolutely right. But you were indoctrinated into these patterns. Okay? You have a 12-step program that indoctrinates you in the beginning of life. It's called first grade through 12. It's a Masonic thing. What does it do? Oh, it prepares you for the world. There's a reason why they call it factory education. There's a reason why you respond to a bell. All of these things. These are all subconscious things. Okay? They're all put into place for a reason. Why? Well, because back in the day, they worked in the factories. They worked in the plantation. In Hawaii, we have a plantation. We also have plantation mentality. Plantation mentality. What is that? Well, it's clan mentality. Clan mentality is part of that. But the plantation mentality is they want workers. They don't want thinkers. Okay? Much like the Industrial Revolution where, people like John D. Rockefeller said, I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers. And when you do your research, you go, oh, that's why the women's lib thing happened. Women's lib happened because they wanted more taxpayers. So if we got them into the workforce, now we pull in the other 50%. Brilliant. But this is commerce. If you start looking at life more like a business, because everything is a transaction, life is easier to understand. Life makes more sense, and you don't need to get so emotional about everything. Okay, about the injustices that you see. Corporations don't have feelings. They don't care about you. People care about you. So it's important to observe God-made versus man-made. 6 cruel hours of our lives. Not necessarily. You can live your dreams. You can do what you love. Okay? If you don't like what you love, then yeah, you're going through that. Margot, so corrupt, absolutely. And on how the government was created. Yeah, well, we need organization. Okay? You need governing to a certain extent. You need governance because we need order. We need law and order. We need policies in place. We need things to help people. We need social programs. We need all of those things. But what I'm telling you is when you believe in those things, when you put your faith in those things, now it becomes mammon. And you cannot serve God in mammon. But when you work from in here, you can attract any and all of it, whatever you want. And all you have to do is follow what it is you are put on earth to do. Because you have a schematic in here. You have a life path in here. Yesterday we talked about that a lot. Go look for the pinned live. Okay. But your life unfolds like this. Your life unfolds for you. Okay, based upon what's in your subconscious. Let's take a look at the tree. So the roots of the tree are your subconscious beliefs. Okay, the trunk of the tree is your paradigm or your worldview or your attitude, the way you see the world, which gives way to your actions, produces your actions, which are the fruits of the tree. You shall know them by their fruits. Don't look at what people say. Don't believe people what they say. Talk is cheap. You know all the idioms. Watch what they do. Okay? Pay more attention to people than you do to things. Okay? Use things, love people. Give of your time. When you give of your time, you give of your life. Find your purpose. Okay? Some people don't have money right now. Times are difficult right now. Times are always difficult. Or times are always good. Okay? Depending on how you see it. Right? Depending on where you are, depending on the actions that you have produced, the fruits that have given you the results you have. There were people in the Great Depression that made a lot of money, that prospered during the Depression. A lot of money. And how, for example, Bush family was handling their power from sun to sun and so on. That's politics. Well, we're not talking about politics, but yeah. When you refer to in here, what do you exactly mean? Your spirit, your energy in here. You're not your body. You're not your name, Margot. You're a spirit in here. We are blessed to be here in 2026. Yeah, it's a wonderful time to be on the planet. It's the age of truth, and the truth is coming to light. This is the age of Aquarius. It's in the Bible, okay? It's in Matthew, okay? Follow the man with the water pitcher into the house, and I will meet you upstairs. Upstairs. What is it talking about? Well, the man with the water pitcher is Aquarius. It's ushering in the age of Aquarius. Women did not carry water in ancient times. I'm sorry. Okay. That would have been a big WTF moment for anybody in the day going, what? Man with a water pitcher. Okay. Because it was forbidden. But that was then, this is now. And like I said, when I started talking about the systems of things earlier, systems change, systems morph, they get modified because human beings evolve. And when we evolve, we have to modify the systems. And in the technological age that we're in now, systems are being modified rapidly. Some people will look at it as imprisonment. Some people will look at it as, well, we're restricted from this, that, and the other thing. And some people will use it to their advantage and prosper. It depends on how you look at it. It depends on how you see it. It depends on how you use it. Okay? Because a kitchen knife can be used to create a nice dinner. Or it can be used to hurt somebody, right? Either way, it depends on how you use it. So these things are tools. This knowledge is a tool. Okay? Because when you work from in here, everything out here changes for you. I don't care who you are. The world is the world. Okay? You cannot change the world from out here. But you can change your world from in here. Learn that when observing others, you learn about their character. Yeah. Because you see what they do. Yeah, you see what they do. Pay attention to the fruits, the actions. Okay, we have all the sayings, actions speak louder than words, all of those things. But there's a reason why they say that, okay? Because humans are creatures of habit. And now we get back to the subconscious again, right? Wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat. A lot of people are like, wow, I'm stuck. Nothing's working. I'm stuck. You're stuck in your subconscious. And until you change that, okay, affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization, all you need to do is go online and put my name in any browser, any AI or whatever, and put teaching method next to it. You'll get all the information for free. I'm not here to sell you something. If you need my help, I'm here for you. That's the name of my company, Here For You Life Coaching. We only get 5-star ratings on Google because we go the extra mile for our clients. Because that's what it takes to get human beings out of the rut they're in, to pull them out of their subconscious programming. When you're susceptible to sliding back into your old programs, it just means that you haven't established the new program well enough. And that's just repetition. Less than 15 minutes a day. 10 minutes for meditation. The rest takes 5 minutes. 5 minutes to write the sentence. Speak it out loud. Visualize yourself worthy. To visualize where you want to go. To build a vision board. To remind your subconscious what the target is. Because your conscious mind selects the target. But only 5% of your life is conscious. 95% of your life is subconscious. Wash, rinse, repeat. But there's a purpose. It's because you don't have to learn how to drive every day. What if you had to learn how to drive the car every day? Wouldn't that be crazy? That would be crazy, right? But people are walking, they're sleepwalking. They're just allowing their program to drive them. Okay, that's crazy too. Okay? So what do? Well, the conscious mind selects new targets. Okay? Then you write your affirmation. I am so happy and grateful now that I am confident. Thank you. Why confidence? Because it's a centered, relaxed feeling. There's no anxiety. Anxiety cannot live where confidence is. Put it that way. Today's content is awesome. So much to chew on. Oh, thank you. Thank you, user. Thank you. We will post it. This gets posted to the account later today on this platform. But when you become aware, okay, because people don't like awareness. Why? Because they like what they're doing. They don't mind being the victim, right? Because sometimes it's good. Being the victim is good sometimes, right? Oh, everybody feels sorry. Oh, poor thing. Oh, here, have some, whatever. Poor thing. But it's just because they're not aware that they can attract everything from in here. I slept on a sidewalk. I was a street person for a while, for a few months. I don't look at it as being hard. Although, yeah, there were hard times. Now I look back and I go, I wasn't mad at God. I wasn't mad at anybody. I was actually mad at the world in general. There's a difference. It wasn't a specific person. Okay. But it was more like an adventure. Okay. With the wrong people, doing the wrong stuff for the wrong reasons. Okay. Everything was wrong. That's why I was sleeping on the sidewalk. Okay. I come from a good family. But I wanted to see how the other half lived. So I spent time with the other half, literally, on the sidewalk. At 4 o'clock in the morning, I can't tell you what bone-chilling cold feels like. Of course, this is Hawaii, but it's still cold. And sometimes you have to experience things so you know the difference. So you appreciate what you have. This is what happened with all of my travels. I went to third world countries, and when I came home, I was like so happy to come home. So happy. But when you look at the outside, the physical world, okay, you're looking for approval. You're looking for safety. You're looking for identity. I identify with that. I am that. Okay? But the I am is in you. The I am is in here. It is in you. But when you decide, I am the fireman, I drive the fire truck, I work at the fire station. When you start believing in that, because it feeds you, because it takes care of your kids, because it gives you vacations, because it buys your house, all of this, now it becomes mammon. People look for happiness out here. Oh, I'll be happy when I get the house. I'll be happy when I get the car. I'll be happy, happy, happy. No, no, no. Happiness is a decision. And that decision has to start in here, not out here. Because when you're happy here, everything is attracted to the happiness. Okay, the Indian philosopher Shinakawa said, your feelings are your God. Okay? So when you make that projection, that vibration against the bigger vibration, against the bigger energy that is God, it returns it to you in kind. Okay? Like attracts like. That's why when, money goes out, right? What is the first thing people do? They worry, they get mad, they get upset, they throw tantrums, whatever. Okay? And what happens? It gets worse. Why? Because your vibration, your frequency goes down. So what should you do when money's going out? Watch comedies, get happy, do happy things. Money comes back faster. Try it, it works. If you're relying on something in the physical world to bring you happiness, I mean, you can try, okay? I thought I would be happy when I had my first sports car. Yeah, I was happy for a few days, for a couple weeks, maybe even 3 weeks or so. But then after that, it was just a car. But the big thing that was accomplished from the first new car was that I didn't have to belong to the old paradigm of buy a good used car. That was crazy. In my life, that was crazy because good used cars rebuild themselves slowly. New radiator, new water pump, whatever. Okay? But I got pulled out of the hypnosis. What was the result? Till now, I've just had new car smell. That's all I know. From 2007 to now. I just ordered another car. Am I worried about it? No. Did I worry about the first one? Yeah. When I was walking across that bridge, that mental bridge, right? About to open the door to something new, it was spooky. Why? Because humans are creatures of habit, subconscious habit. And what happened when I walked over the bridge and got to the other side? Life changed forever. Because then I was like, oh, wow, it's a real thing. The kingdom is within. All I had to do is go in here and trust in here and imagine in here. And my reticular activating system was conducive to what I was believing, what I was striving for, and then it materialized. Visualize, materialize. And this is what I teach people every day. So with that said, it's your honesty means so much in street life. Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, it is what it is. I was on the street. Yep, not ashamed of it at all. I was proud of it. I saw how the other half lived, and they lived pretty cool. To tell you the truth, it was fun. It was an adventure. I don't think I want to repeat it, but yeah. Anyway, so I gotta go do clients, you guys. But thank you, and we're here every morning, 7 a.m. Hawaii time. We'll see you tomorrow morning. We're on 7 platforms worldwide.